Hey, y'all, welcome back to the activity portion of your Tuesday assignment. Go ahead and on the activities, click on week 19, activity number one. Basically, it's going to look like this. Don't forget that your share settings should be on AISD. Make sure you change them from restricted if they're unrestricted to Austin Independent School District. All right, so basically, what we're looking at is more categorizing the four types of payment. Our notes from the previous episode will probably be very, very helpful. So if you've written these down, and great job if you have, then get those out because they're very usable. All right, basically what we're going to do, we have two pages. One, we just place credit card, check, debit card, cash. On this one, we're placing check marks, obviously. Some of these rows will have more than one check mark. All right, because if you think about it, is your money, we know that's good for at least three items. All right, so let's go ahead and let's review. First off, cash. Untraceable, it's your money. Untraceable means that if you lose it, it doesn't have your name on it. It'd be really hard for it to get back to you. All right. Checks. Once again, it's your money. Basically, it's your money from a checking account. You put your money in the bank, and then you give people a piece of paper that says, like, I will pay you $50 of my money, or I will pay you $100 of my money. These are traceable. It is your money. A debit transaction is also your money. It still comes from your checking account, except for it's an electronic payment on a card. So you swipe that, you put in your PIN, which is your personal identification number, and that allows you to spend money out of your checking account without writing a document like a check. All right. Debit card, once again, it's your money. It comes from your checking account, and you access it with your PIN. All right. Finally, credit, that is not your money. It's the bank's money. All right. So they buy it for you, and you pay the bank back. All right. This is traceable. It's buy now, pay later. So if I buy with a credit card, I'm getting the item now, but I have to pay back the bank, so I'm paying later. All right. Um, and then credit cards, of course, charge you money for you to borrow their money. So it's not like this awesome source of never-ending money. You have to pay it back, and not only do you have to pay it back, but if you borrow for longer than a month, you have to pay back plus a fee for borrowing the money in the first place. All right. So let's use that to answer these. All right, so an electronic form of payment that immediately excludes cash. Cash is not electronic. There's nothing about cash that's electronic. You cannot send cash to the internet. All right, so a form of electronic payment that immediately transfers funds from your bank account, from your bank account. Your money, electronic, your money, immediate. Electronic, your money, immediate. That sounds to me like you would put in your PIN and the money would transfer immediately. So that's a debit card. That's your money. Oh, hey. All right, so slide. Remember to, sometimes these are funky. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out this real quick because it's that slide disappeared. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Right click on it, and then I think, let's see, order, bring to front. Okay, so when you right click on these, go to order, bring to front. Right click, order, bring to front. Right click, we already did it, but we're going to do it again. And then right click, order, bring to front. If you don't bring it to front, it's going to fall behind the chart whenever you put it on there. So what I mean by that is, like last time when I put it on there, it went behind the chart. This time it'll stick on top of the chart. All right, so there we go. Sorry that that wasn't done already. Sometimes I think the people that make these have a lot to do, so they are not perfect. They are human, and we can do a little bit extra to help them out. So a form of electronic payment that immediately transfers funds from your bank account. It's your money because it's your bank account. It's electronic, so it's not cash or check, and then immediate transfers a debit card. Okay, a form of immediate payment that must be made in person with the correct amount. All right, there's only one of these that has to be made in person. I cannot send cash through the internet. I can even put like checking numbers on the internet. It's less frequent, but you cannot send cash to the internet. All right, you just cannot put a dollar bill into your webcam. It's not going to work. So in person, it's an immediate payment. It's your money. It's cash. All right, so we have two left. We have a form of paper payment that transfers money from your bank account, but does not happen immediately. So with a check, the reason why they're saying it doesn't happen immediately is because that check, like if I write a check at HEB, I give HEB my check, they still have to go to the bank to get the money, right? They have to go to the bank and be like, I have this piece of paper that says that Paul Johnson will give me $50. So give me my $50, right? So a check isn't immediate because whoever gets the check, if you've ever gotten a check as like a gift or something, you have to go to the bank before it turns into money. A check itself is not, it's just an agreement to give somebody money. So once you actually go to the bank, that check can turn into the actual transfer of money. All right, so a check is not immediate, but it is your money. Remember, one of these is not your money, and that's what they're talking about in this last example. A form of electronic payment that is borrowed money from a financial institution. A financial institution is like a bank, all right? So borrowed money from a bank and you must pay back later. That is definitely a credit card. With a credit card, you can use somebody else's money to buy something, but you do have to pay them back, all right? So the difference between, once again, debit card, debit card is your money, credit card is somebody else's money. All right, debit card, cash, and check are all your money, credit card is somebody else's money. Electronic payments, debit cards, and credit cards are electronic. All right, you can use them on the internet. Okay, cash, not usable on the internet. um, check sometimes, but less frequent. But the main things you got to know: debit and credit card can be used on the internet, electronic payments, and once again, debit your money, credit somebody else's money. All right, page 2 comes from your bank account immediately. All right, so here's the thing. Many of these things will come from your bank account, but which ones are immediate? Remember, we talked about immediate in the last slide. Do checks happen immediately, or does somebody have to take that check to the bank? Yeah, somebody has to take that check to the bank. So it's not going to be immediate. In fact, comes from your bank account immediately. Sounds like a debit card. When I punch in my PIN, that is immediate transfer from my account to wherever I slid the card and punched in the PIN. All right, is your money. Okay, there's only one of these that is not your money. Credit cards are not your money. All right. Debit card comes from your checking account. Checking comes from your checking account. Cash, that's yours. Or you can put it in your checking account and then spend it as debit or check. All right. Is money you borrow to pay back later? Can we borrow money from ourselves? No. So this one only fits with credit card because we're borrowing a bank's money and we'll pay them back later. So we swipe the credit card and we can take home whatever we just bought, but we haven't even paid for it yet. Some bank paid for it and was like, hey, you can borrow that. And basically, we have to pay it back. Once I've paid off my credit card bill, then I've officially bought the item. All right, electronic payments. Remember, we talked about just a second ago things that we can use on the internet, credit cards. Another thing we can use on the internet, debit cards. You can sort of use checks, but they don't really consider them electronic payments because usually you're just setting up like a bank transfer. And then cash, you cannot use cash on the internet. It just doesn't work. Try as you might. And then finally, must be made in person. Must be made in person. Must be made in person. The only thing that has to absolutely happen in person is cash. All right. Um, Once again, you could possibly put check in here because uh, but you could technically like send a check in the mail and stuff too. All right, so if I want to pay a bill, I can send a check in the mail. I can't send Sprint cash. They won't do that. So like that's another one where you would say that it has to be made in person. A cash purchase has to be made in person. You have to hand someone the cash. All right. A lot of big companies and stuff don't want cash sent to them in the mail. That could lead to a lot of problems. So Once again, cash is the one that you make in person. You hand somebody cash. All right. You can make a purchase without having someone touch your credit card. You can make a purchase without someone having to touch your debit card. Um, with a check, someone's going to have to take it to the bank. So that one is going to have to be, someone's going to touch it. But all right. So remember, things to the main points are debit, cash, and check are your money. A credit card is somebody else's money that you will pay back later. Credit cards are buy now, pay later. A check is kind of a little bit like that. Like it takes a day or two for a check to clear. So you write the check, and then a day or two later, the money disappears from your account when somebody else gives their bank that check and they transfer the money over. Cash, that's just like dollars and cents, and a debit card is your account attached to a card that has a personal identification number or PIN. All right. So that should finish today's math stuff. Remember, you do have to move these to the front. You just do that with a right click, order, bring to front. All right. So hope that this is kind of starting to make sense. It is something you'll do for the rest of your life. So have fun with money. That's fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. And then I hope you have a wonderful day. Have fun with all the things that you do today. And I will see you later. Bye.